Speaker Pelosi has shown zero willingness to even talk about what a testing regime could look like. It's a tragedy that Speaker Pelosi has decided not to implement some of the things that we've even researched for her to be able to do. The Air Force was willing to provide testing kits to Capitol Hill. And again, this isn't just about members of Congress. This is about the Capitol police officers, the folks who are here every day cleaning the buildings in the complex.
President Trump's positive coronavirus diagnosis reigniting bipartisan calls on Capitol Hill to implement some sort of COVID-19 testing system for lawmakers. But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still has not agreed to anything. Here to react is Texas Congressman and Dr. Michael Burgess. Congressman, welcome to the show. So I'm having a hard time understanding why Pelosi's office hasn't responded to this. This seems like something that everyone should be willing to get on board with at this point. What's the issue?
You know, I certainly can't speak for the speaker. It was a decision made much earlier in the summer. We are in a different place in this pandemic. Look, the House at least has gone home now for an extended period. We've got some work we still need to do, so it's a high likelihood that we will be back. It does seem to make some degree of sense to know who's putting people at risk and who's not. We've seen the stories in the papers. Congress-wide testing policy for not just members but personnel on the Hill seems to make some sense, just as Representative Davis has so articulately said.
Are you concerned at all about the volume of people that would need to be tested? I mean, you're talking about daily testing. It makes sense to me on principle, but you're talking about over 500 members of Congress, potentially 20,000 or upward staff members. Is that conceivable to do on a daily basis?
Well, you wouldn't do it on a daily basis, I don't think. But again, and this is the problem. We're not even talking about what would be the appropriate screening, what would be the appropriate screening interval. Would it just be after we all came back from our districts? Is there a way to pool samples so you don't consume the amount of consumables that are used in each test? Are there new point of care tests that perhaps could be administered with greater facility? But again, we're not even having the discussion, so there's no way to know what's possible.
So who needs to approve this? Because if there's no response from Pelosi's office, and now you're seeing more and more cases popping up, obviously the president's positive test is going to put this front and center as a key issue. Is there someone else that can approve this or can be spoken to if Nancy Pelosi's office just declines to comment or to assist?
Yeah, each and every individual member and each and every individual person who works on the Hill obviously has the same obligations. And the number one thing we've learned during this pandemic, if you think you're sick, don't go to work. Stay home. Obviously, mask wearing and hand washing are things that can be done on an individual basis to control the spread of the disease. But it ultimately a process administered of the attending physician's office for members would be, or at least perhaps some straightforward direction. Any one of us is free to go to our own physicians and present the evidence why we are concerned, why we think a test would be necessary. That will either be accepted or not. But there could be a protocol in place, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be as strict as what you had initially described. But there are other options, and here's the problem: we're not even talking about them at a time where, look, we got the president and Walter Reed. We all pray and wish him well. We know he's strong. We know he's in the right place with the right doctors. You contrast that to President Eisenhower, who's treated for his MI at home.
Yeah. I hate to interrupt, but we have to wrap. Sure. We appreciate you being here so much on such an important topic. We'll be right back. More Fox and Friends on the other side.